I mean, who's ever been upset and found that they couldn't eat? Yeah.
I always eat more when I'm upset.
Oh, that's later. But when you're really, really upset, you can't digest properly. And most people that I've treated, they start having their gluten intolerance or dairy intolerance flare up or show up after major periods of stress in their life, like childbirth or divorce or relationship problems or losing their job. That's when they start to have problems. After those huge stressful times in their lives, they start to develop food intolerances. Their health start going downhill. They start to get chronic fatigue or react to everything. I mean, I've known people who started to react to dairy and then gluten and then parsley and then rice. They react to everything. You do a panel of blood tests, there's about 100 ingredients, and they react to about 60 of them. I mean, literally, they can't eat anything.
So, who would like to know what we can do about this? Anyone? Yeah?
This is really fun. We've never presented with one microphone between us before. It's one way to shut one of us up.
Well, it doesn't do a really good job of it.
Okay. What's the question? How can we get rid of it?
Yeah. She's forgotten the question. Can you believe it? If you're saying that emotions can affect the absorption of our food and emotions affect everything, then who would like to know how we can fix our emotions so it doesn't do as much damage to us?
Okay. She loves giving me hard questions.
Somebody has to.
Okay. One is when you eat certain foods, you feel good, right? You know, chocolate. There's been studies done where when they checked what foods make women and men feel better, can trigger certain fibers in your brain. So when they did it for women, they found that fatty foods tend to make both men and women feel better. But women like to have fat that is sweet, and men like to have fat that is salty. So women goes for the chocolates, and men go for the pretzels, sausages, chips, bacon. That's right. So that's really interesting. It sort of explains why women go for the sweet stuff. Now, when you want to fix your defense system, your immune system, you need to, one, stop the inflammation that's happening in your gut. Imagine if there's a battle going on in there. What would happen? Like, there's a major battle going on in your gut. Would you be feeling good? No. I mean, can you imagine that you'd feel tired and grumpy and irritable when there's a major battle going on in your gut? So how do we stop that? I mean, we talk about brain chemicals being involved in your emotions, it being involved in depression and all that. For those of you who don't know, a lot of those brain chemicals or neurotransmitters actually come from your gut. The same chemicals that work in the gut work in the brain to help you feel good. And that's why a lot of the antidepressants can make people feel nauseated and get gastric or vomiting, because they work in your brain and your gut. Now, by calming down, relaxing, you reduce the inflammation in both your brain and your gut. And it works both ways. If you calm down your gut, your emotions will be better too. So it becomes a vicious circle. You either keep improving or you reduce.
You can never get it off once you get started. So you're telling us that if we can just calm down, that if we even just took 5 minutes out for ourselves when we're starting to feel stressed, just to calm, whether it be through breathing or sitting in the park, meditating, lighting a candle. There's some beautiful candles with nice scents, and or if we use the essential oils which you can find in some of the candles, this could actually help the digestion we have, so therefore the nutritions that we absorb. Yes. So there's some faces here going, Whoa, that's a bit different. But does it make sense, though, that if you look at your gut as being inflamed after war, that to calm that down is going to actually calm down and calm down your digestive tract will actually help you absorb your food? So then you won't have as many intolerances of the different foods? And with candles, what else do candles do apart from just the oils and looking pretty? What else do they have? Or actually, can I ask you a question? What does, say, the sun? No, let me finish the question first. Oh, people are so keen here. What does the sun, a candle, and a fire have in common? Sorry? Heat. What else do they have? Light. Now, light's very special, isn't it?
Yes, we're jumping a bit here. If you're lost, just put up your hand and just ask, okay? Because we're so excited. You're just taking us ahead in what we were going to say about. Light is so important in our health. People just underestimate it. These days, everyone's covered up with the hat on. And sunscreen and all that. In fact, we don't need to. The sun gives us not only warmth, heat, it actually gives us energy in other ways. Okay, we now know so much that light is doing for us in our body that it's so exciting, because one of the things I do is we actually infuse laser light into people to give them energy. And what we found is there's this thing called biophotons. You know, when plants get sunlight and they absorb this light energy and they convert it into, you know, chemicals, nutrients and all that, but it does more than that. It actually, there's special light particles that carry information. So when you eat a sun-ripened fruit or vegetable, it carries more energy for your body than something that's picked unripe and gassed in some storehouse somewhere. And you all know when you eat something that someone grew and gave you, you feel so much better, don't you? It tastes nicer. It actually carries that vital energy from the sun to our body. And this you can't get from processed foods. And that's the other thing that really destroys our health, is all the processing, okay? The bottom line is food in themselves in a natural state are not evil. They all are good for us. It's when we process them that they start to hurt us, okay? So coming back to the light, have you ever seen...
Who wants to talk about light and energy? Yes?
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, we're kind of going... It's a voting time, because we'd like to go where you want to go. We can take this wherever you want. Who would like to hear about light and energy? Who would like to hear about hormones and getting them balanced? That's split. Okay, we'll start with light and then finish with hormones.
Who's ever seen a school of fish swim? Yeah, thousands of fish. How do they know to turn at the same time and go this way? You've all seen Nemo, haven't you? They now know it's actually done by the transmission of light particles, because light travels so fast they can send information very quickly. Amazing, isn't it? And that explains a lot of things, how we can communicate so quickly. How do I put a needle in someone or flash some laser on someone and instantly their pain goes away or they feel better? I mean, some theories actually say meridians in acupuncture are light channels where light energy can flow in our body. That makes sense. That's how things can get better so quickly. How can we tap into that? How can we tap into that? One is have more foods that have light energy. So have more naturally grown, naturally ripened foods. Drink lots of water. And cut out the dead foods, because the dead foods don't carry that light energy and life force. We actually...
What do you mean by dead food?
Processed food, cooked and overly cooked foods, especially microwaved foods. But don't get me started on that.